Hello everyone, and hoping you are all safe and well and staying at home just now. So, update on online learning. As you may have heard in the media and on the news, that the First Minister has announced that we will continue under the current restrictions until at least the February half term, which means we have to continue with online learning as we are from the moment, from this current time up until then. And obviously things will be reviewed, and it's my personal hope and the hope of our staff that we can hopefully begin to get pupils back to school when the government announced that it's safe to do so. So we will continue with our plans for online learning, and just so you're aware, will be two things that we'll be tracking through our online learning. And the first thing is your well-being as young people. We'll do that. Some more information will come to you next week about that, because Mr. Coe and Mr. McLaughlin are just finalising some arrangements for that, which they'll present to the senior leadership team on Friday afternoon at our virtual meeting. So some more information about that, but already for some particularly vulnerable pupils, weekly phone calls are in place with parents and with young people, just to track well-being and making sure people are okay. The engagement tracker is about learning, and all staff are going to be working on this engagement tracker, and one of our principal teachers, Mr. Burse, has created a very clever spreadsheet which will help us to track pupil engagement with online learning, and all teachers have a part to play in monitoring the rate of success in terms of pupil engagement, and that will all be fed back, and we'll be in touch with any young people to check to see if there are any barriers to engagement with our online learning and how we can help and support. We're also continuing with our online registration, which has been very successful up to now, and thank you for continuing to support this. It helps us again make sure that we are keeping in touch with our young people through their registered teachers each morning. Online learning takes a variety of forms, including different lessons, tasks and activities, and these can be presented to young people in different ways too. We're working very hard to listen and respond to parents and pupils' suggestions and worries and concerns, and we're reviewing things all the time as we go along. Online learning can take the form of personal learning, independent learning, it can be pre-recorded lessons, it can be tasks for pupils to work on, and it can also include some live lessons as well. So there is a variety of ways, and that mirrors what we experience in school in terms of pupils' own personal learning styles and what they can engage in. Google Guardian also, we've had some positive feedback from some parents about how that's working and how helpful it is to get the notifications and the weekly summaries that will come out. And just to remind you, we do have a dedicated tech support email line for pupils and parents to give us some feedback or to request any help with some technical issues that you might be having. So again, course choices for this session, rather different this year because we don't have our young people in school as we would like. But this week we issued the senior phase course choice booklet, which has the same principles that we would be looking at in terms of course choices for S2 into S3 as well. The video presentation gives information about all the stages of course choice from S2 right up to S5, and please take the time to listen to that. It is quite long, it's about 20 minutes long, but there's lots of excellent information there from Mr. Cowie, one of our deputy heads. The electronic option forms using Microsoft Forms, they're deliberately not being put out just yet. There's a, as you can imagine, there will be hundreds and hundreds of these returns. So we do this in a very staged way, which helps staff to deal with all of the forms and to once the information is downloaded into a format we can work with. So follow the dates that are there in the video presentation, and that will let you know when to expect your option form and when those option forms are due for return. And also, as a support, our guidance staff are working with young people through their Google Classrooms and through PSE to guide them through the process and answer any individual questions or queries that young people might have, as would be the case in normal school. So SQA, to be honest, folks, we're not that further forward in terms of our SQA knowledge so far, but Miss Booth attended a virtual SQA coordinators meeting on Thursday last week, and the very clear message from the SQA is that learning and teaching is the main focus for schools and young people just now, and that's exactly what we're doing. We are awaiting the information regarding a new alternative certification model, so we are obviously really keen to know what that involves, and we're also awaiting an adjusted timeline for staff to work to. So as I can imagine, it's a concerning time for you at home, for pupils and for parents, and also for staff as well. We are worried about this too, but we have to trust the system and trust that we will get that information so that we can then share that with you and do the work that we need to do. In the longer term, at a meeting that I spoke about last week that I attended, where the Deputy First Minister spoke about the longer term plans to review assessment within the whole of Scottish education for the future. And I imagine that's obviously to safeguard practices in the future in light of what has happened to us over the past year. It's really important that we mention health and well-being when we're talking with our young people, and we ask you to look after yourselves, both your physical health but also your mental health, because being at home all the time, worrying about learning, worrying about the future, it's very, very difficult and hard on everyone. And if you or your family have been affected by COVID, even more so. So the advice that we would give to you is manage your routines. Keep to a school routine, I would suggest, where some young people can very easily turn night into day and be up all night on social media and phones and things, but try and keep to school times, getting up in the morning and going to bed at night and getting plenty of good sleep. Also, the advice is to manage your screen time as well, and that's not just social screen time, that's learning screen time too, because in school you wouldn't be fixed to a screen all day long. You would be moving around, you would be having breaks, so it's that balance of your time as well. Give yourself downtime too, which you would do in a normal day. So take breaks and stay hydrated and eat regularly too. Don't skip meals, particularly breakfast, and keep drinking your water during the day. It is allowed to go out for a walk, which is seen as a necessary purpose for leaving your house. So that is really important as well for well-being, or doing some exercise that it's possible for you to do at this time. A healthy mind and healthy body, and that re-energizes you for learning and the tasks that you might have to do. We also urge you to keep in touch with us. I've been asking my particular first year music class how they're doing through my Google Classroom and my conversations with them. So keep in touch with us, but also talk to others if things are getting tough for you and you're finding it difficult. We are here to help you through this. And obviously follow all the guidelines and stick to the current restrictions and what you're doing at home, all for the greater good, the sacrifices that we all have to make during this current time. So sadly, we are saying fond farewells to two of our very dedicated members of staff this week. Mrs. Jaffrey is moving on to another school to take up a new post as a pupil support worker. So we wish her very, very well with that and thank her for all the time and care she's given to pupils and to staff here at Ellon Academy. And also to Graham Wilson, our pupil support worker, who's taking up a new post in the Peterhead area, and it's a counsellor's post. So Graham's given so much to the school, not just in his day job, but in his fundraising and all the things that he does for the school through sport and ESA and trips and making up videos and things for us all. So Graham, thank you very much for your time and service and the care you've given to pupils and staff and parents too. So wishing you both very, very well, and I know that on behalf of the pupils and staff of Ellon Academy that we wish you all the best in your new endeavours. And finally, just to say to everyone, you'll be fed up of hearing it, but it's absolutely genuinely meant. We really wish that you all stay safe and stay away from this virus, and I hope that it doesn't touch your lives the way that it has done for some people in our community and in our country. So until next week, thank you for listening, and bye for now.